Hey dudes, CI here. So you know what's happening this weekend, right? The new Star Wars movie's coming out. Oh yeah. Now I don't actually want to talk about this upcoming movie. What I want to talk about is the original movie in the sort of form of a question. My question to you, dear viewer, did you have a movie in your childhood that blew your frickin' mind? Because for me, it was Star Wars, the original one. And yes, yes, I know I'm very, very old. I'm probably the oldest person you know or will ever know. But that's not the point here. The point here is that when I was a kid, somebody took me to this show. They were like, "Oh my God, little boy, you need to see this movie. It's called Star Wars, and it's going to blow you away." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm just a little kid. I don't know anything. I'm just going to go to the theater and all that." And you're a little kid, so you go down to the front. You go to the very front row, and all the other kids are down there. And so I was sitting in the front row of this theater, waiting on this movie that was supposed to be called Star Wars. I don't know anything about it, and I'll never forget it. A stranger walked to the front of the front row like an adult, a grown man, and he looked at all of us kids and he was like, "Have you seen this movie yet?" And we're all like, "No." And he's like, "Oh my God, it's so good." So like if Star Wars was having that kind of effect on a grown adult, I was a little kid. I was like, "Wow, this feels very real. Like something's going on here." Okay. We'll find out if this movie's everything they say it is. And then it started. And oh my fucking God, my little tiny boy brain exploded. And I'm not talking about like gradually over time, like from the first moment I was in. I was a little boy and I was with all the other little kids, and we were sitting in the front row, and the screen was right there 100 feet wide. And I was looking at it like, my entire world is changing right now. And I'm aware of it. I am aware that the universe has shifted while I am watching this movie. And then when it got done, I understood why everyone was freaking out about it. And then I went to see it 15 more times in the theater. I'm not making that up. We would go for the first showing and then we would just stay. We'd watch it 3 or 4 times in a row. This is real. This is what I did as a child. So, my question to you is, was there a movie when you were a kid that blew your tiny little mind? Was there a movie that you remember? I mean, it was the movie that you can tell a story about the way I just told you a story. It really sticks out in your brain. It's burned there and will be burned there for the rest of your life. Do you have that movie? Because I want to hear about it. Mine was Star Wars. I will never forget my first viewing of Star Wars. What's that movie for you? What movie blew your tiny little childhood mind? Let me know down in comments. That's it for me. See you next week.